In the heart of a forgotten town, where the wind whispers through empty streets and shadows stretch long under a pale moon, stands the Phantom Clocktower. Its towering silhouette looms over the landscape, a relic of a time long past, yet its presence feels alive, as though it watches and waits. The townsfolk speak of it in hushed tones, their voices trembling with a mix of fear and reverence. They say the clock tower is more than just a structure. It is a keeper of secrets, a harbinger of doom. Its chimes, heard only at the stroke of midnight, are said to carry a curse, a warning to those who dare to listen. Tonight we step into the shadows of this eerie monument, unraveling the chilling secrets that have haunted this town for generations. What lies within its rusted gears and cryptic walls? What stories do the spirits bound to its stones have to tell? Stay with us as we journey into the heart of darkness, where time itself seems to bend, and the line between the living and the dead grows perilously thin. The story of the Phantom Clocktower begins with a legend as old as the town itself. Long ago, when the streets were bustling with life and the town was a thriving hub, a stranger arrived. No one knew his name or where he came from, but he carried with him an air of mystery and an unshakable determination. He claimed to be a master craftsman, a builder of unparalleled skill, and he offered to construct a clock tower unlike anything the town had ever seen. The townspeople, eager for a symbol of their prosperity, agreed. The construction began, and the stranger worked tirelessly, day and night. But as the clock tower rose, so did the unease among the townsfolk. The builder spoke to no one, his eyes always fixed on his work, and whispers began to spread. Some said he chanted strange words under his breath, while others claimed to see shadowy figures assisting him under the cover of darkness. When the clock tower was finally completed, it stood as a masterpiece, its Gothic spires reaching toward the heavens. But on the very night of its completion, the builder vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the ticking of the clock and a sense of dread that lingered in the air. From that day forward, the clock tower became a source of both awe and fear. Its chimes, which rang out every hour, carried an eerie resonance that seemed to echo through the very soul of the town. The townsfolk began to speak of curses, of strange illnesses, sudden disappearances, and unexplained deaths that seemed to follow the tolling of the midnight bell. They whispered that the builder had not been a man at all, but something far more sinister, and that the clock tower was not a gift, but a prison for the spirits he had bound within its walls. As the years passed, the legend grew, and the Phantom Clocktower became a symbol of the town's darkest secrets. Those who dared to venture too close reported hearing faint whispers, as though the spirits trapped within were pleading for release. And so the clock tower stood, a monument to a mystery that no one could solve, its gears turning endlessly, as if counting down to some unknown fate. But the story of the clock tower is not just one of curses and shadows. It is also a tale of the town's resilience, of generations who lived in its shadow yet refused to abandon their home. And as we delve deeper into the chilling history of this enigmatic structure, we begin to uncover the threads of truth woven into the legend, threads that lead us closer to the heart of its dark and haunting secrets. As we turn the page on the legend of the Phantom Clocktower, we find ourselves stepping into the shadowed streets of the town itself, a place where history and mystery intertwine. The town, once a beacon of prosperity, began to unravel in ways no one could have foreseen. It started with whispers, faint at first, of people vanishing without a trace. A farmer who went out to tend his fields and never returned. a child who wandered too close to the clock tower and was never seen again. These were not isolated incidents, but a pattern that grew more pronounced with each passing year. The disappearances were only the beginning. Soon, the town was plagued by unexplained deaths that defied logic and reason. A blacksmith, known for his strength and health, was found lifeless in his workshop, his tools still clutched in his hands. A young couple, newly married, perished in their sleep on the same night, their faces frozen in expressions of terror. The townsfolk began to connect these tragedies to the clock tower, for each death seemed to coincide with the tolling of its midnight chime. It was as though the clock tower itself was marking time, not for the living, but for those it claimed. The role of the clock tower in these events became impossible to ignore. Those who lived closest to it reported hearing faint, mournful cries in the dead of night, as though the spirits trapped within were lamenting their fate. Some claimed to see shadowy figures moving around the base of the tower, their forms flickering like candle flames in the wind. Others spoke of a coldness that seemed to radiate from the structure, a chill that seeped into the bones of anyone who lingered too long. The town's elders, desperate for answers, turned to the few records that remained from the time of the clock tower's construction. They found cryptic notes about the builder's methods, references to rituals performed under the light of a waning moon, and warnings about disturbing the balance of forces he had set in motion. It became clear that the clock tower was not merely a structure of stone and metal. It was a conduit, a gateway to something far darker. As the years wore on, the town's history became a tapestry of fear and loss, woven with threads of the inexplicable. The clock tower stood at the center of it all, its gears turning with a precision that seemed almost sentient. It was as if the structure was alive, feeding on the despair of those who lived in its shadow. And yet, despite the dread it inspired, the townspeople could not bring themselves to tear it down. Some believed it held the key to their salvation, while others feared that destroying it would unleash something far worse. The town's dark history is a testament to the enduring power of the Phantom Clocktower, a reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved. As we delve deeper into the chilling events that unfolded here, we begin to see how the clock tower's influence shaped the lives of those who called this place home, and how its secrets continue to echo through the ages. Now let us step into the shoes of a curious traveler, whose fateful journey would forever change the way the world saw the Phantom Clocktower. This wanderer, whose name has been lost to time, arrived in the town on a misty autumn evening, drawn by tales of its eerie beauty and the whispers of its dark past. Unaware of the horrors that awaited, the traveler sought shelter in a small inn at the edge of town, where the innkeeper, with trembling hands, warned them to stay far from the clock tower. But curiosity, as it often does, proved stronger than caution. The next morning, the traveler set out to explore the town, their footsteps echoing on cobblestone streets that seemed to hold their breath. As they approached the clock tower, a strange sensation washed over them, a feeling of being watched, though no one else was in sight. The air grew colder with each step, and the faint sound of ticking gears reached their ears, though the clock face was frozen at midnight. It was then that the traveler noticed something peculiar. The symbols etched into the tower's walls seemed to shift and shimmer, as though alive. Drawn by an inexplicable force, the traveler reached out to touch the cold stone. At that moment, the clock tower's chime rang out, a deep, resonant sound that seemed to vibrate through their very soul. The ground beneath their feet trembled, and the sky darkened as though the sun itself had been extinguished. Shadows began to move, twisting and writhing like living things, and the traveler felt an overwhelming sense of dread. They tried to turn away, but their feet seemed rooted to the spot, as though the tower itself refused to let them go. Suddenly, a voice, low and guttural, spoke from the shadows. It was not a language the traveler could understand, yet the words filled their mind with images of despair and torment. They saw flashes of the town's past, the disappearances, the deaths, the mournful cries of those who had been claimed by the clock tower. The travelers' vision blurred, and they felt themselves being pulled into the tower, as though the structure had opened a doorway to another realm. Just as they thought they would be lost forever, the chime ceased, and the shadows retreated. The traveler collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath, their body trembling with fear. When they finally gathered the strength to rise, the traveler fled the town, never to return, but the experience left an indelible mark. They spoke of the clock tower in hushed tones, warning others to stay away, though few heeded their words. The traveler's account became the first of many, a chilling testament to the power of the Phantom Clocktower and the horrors that awaited those who dared to uncover its secrets. And so the legend grew, as did the tower's grip on the town and its people. As we move forward, we'll explore the clock tower's architecture, a Gothic masterpiece that hides more than just its haunting beauty. But for now, let the traveler's tale serve as a warning. Some mysteries are best left undisturbed. Now, let us turn our attention to the very structure that has haunted the town for generations, the Phantom Clocktower itself. Rising like a skeletal sentinel against the sky, the clock tower is a masterpiece of Gothic architecture, its spires clawing at the heavens as if trying to escape the earth. The stonework, weathered by centuries of neglect, bears the scars of time, yet its grandeur remains undeniable. Every inch of the tower seems to whisper of a forgotten era, one steeped in mystery and shadow. The clock face, frozen eternally at midnight, is framed by intricate carvings of twisted vines and grotesque figures, their hollow eyes seeming to follow you as you move. Beneath the surface, rusted gears lie dormant, their once precise movements halted by some unseen force. These gears, now caked in layers of grime and decay, hint at a mechanism far more complex than a simple timekeeper. Some say they were designed not to measure hours, but to control something far more sinister. Etched into the walls are cryptic symbols, their meanings lost to time. These markings, faint yet unmistakable, seem to shift when viewed from different angles, as though alive. Scholars who have studied them describe them as a language of the arcane, a code meant to bind or summon forces beyond human comprehension. The symbols are arranged in patterns that resemble constellations, suggesting a connection to the heavens, or perhaps something far darker. The tower's interior is no less foreboding. A spiral staircase, its steps worn smooth by countless footsteps, winds upward into darkness. The air is thick with the scent of damp stone and decay, and the faint sound of ticking can still be heard, though no mechanism moves. At the top, a chamber houses the remnants of the clock's inner workings, a labyrinth of gears, levers, and pulleys that defy explanation. Here, the symbols are more pronounced, carved deep into the walls, as though to ensure they would never fade. But what is most unsettling is the sense that the tower is not merely a structure of stone and metal. It feels alive, as though it breathes and watches, its very presence a reminder of the horrors it has witnessed and perhaps caused. The architecture, with its Gothic splendor and cryptic details, seems to serve a purpose far beyond the aesthetic. It is a monument to something ancient and malevolent, a gateway to a realm best left unexplored. As we delve deeper into the clock tower's secrets, we'll uncover the hidden mechanism that lies at its heart, a discovery that will shed light on its true purpose. But for now, let the tower's imposing form and enigmatic design serve as a chilling reminder. Beauty can often mask the darkest of truths. But now, let us turn our attention to the most infamous aspect of the Phantom Clocktower, the legend of its midnight chime. For centuries, the townsfolk have whispered of the tower's haunting toll, a sound that echoes not just through the streets, but through the very souls of those who hear it. It is said that when the clock strikes 12, the chime carries with it a curse, one that summons spirits from the beyond or binds the living to a fate worse than death. The stories are as varied as they are chilling. Some claim that the chime is a call to the restless dead, drawing them from their graves to wander the town in search of unfinished business. Others believe it is a warning, a signal that the clock tower's dark power is awakening. But perhaps the most unsettling accounts come from those who claim to have heard the chime themselves. One such tale tells of a young woman who, on a moonless night, ventured too close to the tower. As the clock struck midnight, she described the chime as a sound unlike any other, deep, resonant, and filled with an otherworldly weight. In the moments that followed, she claimed to see shadowy figures emerging from the tower's base, their forms shifting and indistinct, as though made of smoke. Terrified, she fled, but not before feeling an icy hand brush against her shoulder. To this day, she insists that the encounter left her marked, her nights plagued by nightmares of the tower and its spectral inhabitants. Another account comes from a group of travelers who camped near the town. They reported hearing the chime from a distance, its sound carrying across the silent countryside. At first, they dismissed it as a trick of the wind, but as the night wore on, they began to experience strange phenomena, flickering lights, whispers in the dark, and a growing sense of dread. By morning, one of their party had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a single, rusted gear from the clock tower's inner workings. The legend of the midnight chime has even reached the ears of scholars and paranormal investigators, many of whom have attempted to study its effects. One such researcher, after spending a night within the tower, described the chime as a key of sorts, unlocking something ancient and malevolent. He claimed that the sound resonated not just in the air, but in the very fabric of reality, bending it to the tower's will. Though his findings were never published, his journal, filled with frantic scribbles and warnings, remains a chilling testament to the chime's power. As we piece together these accounts, one thing becomes clear: the midnight chime is no ordinary sound. It is a harbinger of the unknown, a signal that the Phantom Clocktower is far more than a relic of the past. It is a living, breathing entity, its chime a reminder that some mysteries are best left unsolved. And as we continue to unravel the tower's secrets, we must ask ourselves, what other horrors lie hidden within its walls, waiting to be awakened by the stroke of midnight? Now, as we delve deeper into the mysteries of the Phantom Clocktower, we come to the enigmatic tale of its last caretaker, a figure whose disappearance remains one of the tower's most haunting puzzles. For years, the caretaker was a solitary presence, tending to the clock tower's ancient gears and ensuring its chimes echoed through the town as they had for centuries. But one fateful night, he vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a journal filled with cryptic warnings and unsettling observations. The caretaker's journal, discovered in the tower's upper chamber, offers a chilling glimpse into his final days. His entries grow increasingly frantic, detailing strange occurrences that defy explanation. He wrote of hearing whispers in the empty halls, of shadows that moved on their own, and of a growing sense that the tower was alive, watching him. One entry, dated just days before his disappearance, reads, "The gears turn not by my hand, but by something far older. It speaks to me in the silence, and I fear it will not let me leave." What makes the journal even more unsettling are the sketches scattered throughout its pages. Crude drawings of the tower's inner mechanisms are accompanied by notes suggesting that the caretaker had discovered something hidden within its structure, a secret that may have cost him his life. He wrote of a hidden chamber, accessible only through a series of concealed levers and gears, and hinted that this chamber held the key to the tower's dark power. But before he could reveal more, his entries abruptly end, leaving behind only a final, ominous line. "It knows I've found it. I must go now." The townsfolk who discovered the journal were quick to connect the caretaker's disappearance to the tower's cursed reputation. Some believe he was taken by the spirits said to haunt the structure, while others speculate that he stumbled upon a truth too dangerous to bear. Whatever the case, his absence only deepened the aura of dread surrounding the Phantom Clocktower, and his journal became a relic of fear, passed down through generations as a warning to those who might seek to uncover its secrets. As we reflect on the caretaker's fate, we are left with more questions than answers. What did he discover within the tower's hidden chamber, and what became of him after his final, desperate entry? The journal offers no closure, only a lingering sense of unease, a reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved. And as we prepare to explore the next chapter of the Phantom Clocktower's chilling history, we must ask ourselves, are we prepared to face the truths that lie hidden within its walls? As we turn the fragile pages of the caretaker's journal, a deeper layer of the Phantom Clocktower's mystery begins to unfold. The entries, written in a hurried, almost desperate hand, paint a vivid picture of a man unraveling under the weight of the tower's secrets. One of the most striking revelations is his account of the shadowy figures that seemed to haunt the tower's corridors. He described them as formless, shifting shapes that appeared only in the dim light of dusk or dawn, moving with a purpose that defied logic. "They are not of this world," he wrote. "They watch, they wait, and they whisper things I cannot understand." The journal also details the caretaker's growing obsession with the tower's inner workings. He became convinced that the clock tower was more than just a structure. It was a living, breathing entity. He wrote of hearing the gears grind and click in patterns that seemed deliberate, as if the tower itself was communicating with him. One particularly chilling entry describes how he once found the clock's hands moving backward, defying all logic. "Time bends here," he noted. "It is not a force to be measured, but one to be feared." Perhaps the most intriguing revelation in the journal is the caretaker's discovery of a hidden mechanism deep within the tower. He described a series of concealed levers and gears, hidden behind a false wall in the tower's lower chamber. According to his notes, this mechanism controlled more than just the clock's chimes. It seemed to influence something far more sinister. He wrote of strange vibrations emanating from the walls whenever the mechanism was activated, and of a faint, otherworldly hum that filled the air. "It is as if the tower is a gateway," he speculated, "a gateway to something beyond our understanding." The caretaker's final entries grow increasingly fragmented, as if his mind was unraveling alongside the mysteries he sought to uncover. He spoke of a growing sense of dread, of feeling watched even in the most secluded corners of the tower. In one of his last entries, he wrote, "I have seen the face of the tower's master. It is not human, nor is it of this world. It demands silence, and it demands obedience. I fear I have already said too much. These revelations leave us with more questions than answers." What was the true purpose of the hidden mechanism? Who or what were the shadowy figures that haunted the caretaker? And what became of him after his final, desperate entry? The journal offers no clear answers, only a haunting glimpse into the mind of a man who dared to uncover the Phantom Clocktower's darkest secrets. As we move forward, we must ask ourselves, are we prepared to follow in his footsteps, or will the tower's mysteries remain forever shrouded in shadow? As we delve deeper into the caretaker's journal, the mystery of the hidden mechanism within the Phantom Clocktower begins to take shape. This intricate system of gears and levers, concealed behind a false wall in the tower's lower chamber, was no ordinary clockwork. The caretaker's notes describe it as a labyrinth of moving parts, each one meticulously crafted and arranged in a way that defied conventional engineering. He wrote of gears that seemed to spin on their own, levers that shifted without human touch, and a faint, rhythmic hum that pulsed through the walls whenever the mechanism was activated. What made this discovery even more unsettling was the caretaker's growing belief that the mechanism was not merely controlling the clock's chimes. He speculated that it was tied to something far more profound, something that transcended the boundaries of time itself. In one entry, he described how activating the mechanism caused the air around him to grow heavy, as if the very fabric of reality was being altered. "It is as though the tower is a conductor," he wrote, "orchestrating forces beyond our comprehension." The caretaker's experiments with the mechanism revealed even more bizarre phenomena. He noted that certain combinations of levers and gears produced strange vibrations, while others seemed to summon faint whispers that echoed through the tower's corridors. One particularly chilling account describes how he once activated the mechanism at midnight, only to witness the clock's hands spinning wildly before stopping abruptly. In that moment, he claimed to have felt a presence, a cold, unseen force that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the tower. But the most alarming revelation came when the caretaker discovered that the mechanism appeared to have a will of its own. He wrote of times when the gears would shift without his intervention, as if guided by an invisible hand. "It is alive," he noted in a trembling script. "It watches, it listens, and it responds." This sentient quality of the mechanism only deepened his fear as he began to suspect that it was not merely a tool, but a guardian, or perhaps a gatekeeper, to something far more sinister. As we piece together the caretaker's findings, one question looms larger than all others. What was the true purpose of this hidden mechanism? Was it designed to control time, to open a gateway to another realm, or to summon forces that should never be disturbed? The journal offers no definitive answers, only a haunting reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved. And as we prepare to uncover the next layer of the Phantom Clocktower's secrets, we must ask ourselves, are we ready to face what lies beyond the gears and levers, or will the tower's hidden mechanism remain its most guarded enigma? As we step further into the shadowy depths of the Phantom Clocktower, the whispers of its spectral inhabitants grow louder, These are not mere echoes of the past, but restless spirits bound to the tower by forces beyond their control. Each one carries a story, a tragic tale that intertwines with the clock tower's dark history, weaving a tapestry of sorrow and mystery. Among the most frequently cited is the figure of a young woman, her ghostly form draped in tattered garments from a bygone era. Locals claim she was once a servant in the household of the clock tower's enigmatic builder. Her story is one of betrayal and heartbreak, as she fell in love with the builder's son, only to be cast aside when their affair was discovered. Heartbroken and desperate, she is said to have thrown herself from the tower's highest balcony, her spirit forever lingering in the place where her life ended so tragically. To this day, her mournful cries can be heard echoing through the halls, a haunting reminder of love lost and lives shattered. Another spirit often encountered is that of a clockmaker, a man whose obsession with precision and perfection led to his undoing. According to legend, he was hired by the builder to maintain the clock tower's intricate mechanisms, but as he delved deeper into his work, he became consumed by the tower's secrets, spending countless nights tinkering with its gears and levers. One fateful evening, he was found lifeless at his workbench, his tools still clutched in his hands. Some say he died of exhaustion, while others whisper that the tower itself claimed him as its own. His ghost is often seen hunched over the hidden mechanism, as if still trying to unlock its mysteries, his spectral hands moving in a ceaseless, futile rhythm. Then there is the spirit of a child, a boy no older than 10, whose laughter is said to ring through the tower's corridors on the darkest of nights. His story is perhaps the most heartbreaking of all. It is believed he was the son of a caretaker who lived in the tower centuries ago. One stormy night, the boy wandered too close to the tower's edge and fell to his death. His father, overcome with grief, vanished soon after, leaving behind only a journal filled with cryptic warnings. The boy's spirit is said to play harmless pranks on visitors, but his presence serves as a chilling reminder of the innocence lost within the tower's walls. These spirits, each tied to the clock tower by their own tragic fates, are more than mere apparitions. They are the living, or rather, the lingering embodiment of the tower's dark secrets. Their stories are not just tales of sorrow, but pieces of a larger puzzle, one that connects them to the hidden mechanism and the forces it controls. As we uncover more about these spectral inhabitants, we begin to see how their lives and death are inextricably linked to the Phantom Clocktower's enigmatic purpose. But what binds these spirits to the tower? Are they trapped by the mechanism, their souls tethered to its gears and levers? Or are they guardians, tasked with protecting the tower's secrets from those who seek to uncover them? The answers remain shrouded in mystery, but one thing is certain. The spirits of the clock tower are as much a part of its story as the stones that form its walls. And as we prepare to uncover the final curse that binds them, we must ask ourselves, are these spirits merely victims of the tower's dark legacy, or are they its most formidable protectors? As we delve deeper into the heart of the Phantom Clocktower's mysteries, we come face to face with the final curse, a force so powerful, so malevolent, that it binds the spirits to the tower and ensures its secrets remain hidden. This curse is not just a tale of superstition. It is a tangible, terrifying force that has claimed lives and souls for centuries. The clock tower, it seems, is not merely a structure of stone and gears. It is a prison, a trap designed to ensnare those who dare to uncover its darkest truths. The curse is said to have been cast by the clock tower's enigmatic builder, a man whose motives remain as shadowy as the tower itself. Legend has it that he was not merely an architect, but a practitioner of forbidden arts, weaving dark magic into the very fabric of the tower. The hidden mechanism, with its intricate gears and cryptic symbols, is not just a marvel of engineering. It is the physical manifestation of the curse, a device designed to channel and amplify the builder's malevolent will. Those who tamper with it risk awakening the curse, unleashing a force that binds the living and the dead alike. The spirits we've encountered, the heartbroken servant, the obsessed clockmaker, the innocent child, are not merely victims of their own tragic fates. They are bound to the tower by the curse, their souls tethered to its gears and levers. It is as if the tower feeds on their sorrow, drawing strength from their anguish to maintain its dark power. The curse ensures that they cannot move on, forever trapped in a cycle of torment, their presence serving as both a warning and a deterrent to those who might seek to unravel the tower's secrets. But the curse does not stop at binding spirits. It extends its reach to the living, punishing anyone who dares to disturb the tower's equilibrium. Over the years, countless explorers, historians, and thrill seekers have ventured into the clock tower, lured by the promise of uncovering its mysteries. Few have returned, and those who have often speak of strange occurrences, unexplained illnesses, sudden accidents, and an overwhelming sense of dread that follows them long after they've left the tower's shadow. Some even claim to hear the faint ticking of the hidden mechanism, a sound that grows louder and more insistent, as if the tower itself is warning them to turn back. The curse, it seems, is not just a passive force. It is alive, sentient, and fiercely protective of the clock tower's secrets. It is as if the builder's will lives on, his malevolence woven into the very stones of the structure. Those who attempt to dismantle the hidden mechanism or decipher its symbols risk triggering the curse's full wrath, unleashing a wave of supernatural energy that can drive even the bravest to madness. And yet, the curse is not without its loopholes. Some believe that the key to breaking it lies in the spirits themselves, that by uncovering their stories and helping them find peace, the curse's hold on the tower can be weakened. Others speculate that the hidden mechanism holds the answer, its cryptic symbols and gears forming a puzzle that, if solved, could unravel the curse entirely. But these are dangerous paths to tread, for the curse does not take kindly to those who seek to defy it. As we stand on the precipice of understanding, we must ask ourselves, is the curse a force of evil, a malevolent creation meant to protect the clock tower's secrets at all costs? Or is it a tragic byproduct of the builder's own despair, a reflection of the darkness that consumed him? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The final curse of the Phantom Clocktower is a force to be reckoned with, a reminder that some secrets are best left buried, and some doors are better left unopened. And as we prepare to conclude our journey, we must consider the chilling possibility that the curse is not just a part of the tower's past. It is a living, breathing entity, waiting to claim its next victim. As we draw the curtains on the tale of the Phantom Clocktower, its chilling secrets linger like the echo of its midnight chime. This towering enigma, shrouded in shadow and sorrow, stands as a testament to the darkness that can consume both the living and the dead. From its cursed origins to the spirits bound within its walls, the clock tower is more than a structure. It is a living, breathing entity, a keeper of secrets too terrible to fully comprehend. The curse, woven into its very foundation, serves as a grim reminder of the price of curiosity. It binds the spirits to their eternal torment, punishes the living who dare to trespass, and ensures that the clock tower's mysteries remain locked away. Yet, even as we reflect on the horrors it holds, we cannot help but wonder, what drove its builder to such depths of despair? Was it vengeance, madness, or something far more sinister? The stories of those who have encountered the clock tower, the vanished caretaker, the ill-fated travelers, the restless spirits, paint a picture of a place where time itself seems to unravel. The hidden mechanism, with its cryptic symbols and intricate gears, hints at a purpose beyond mere timekeeping. It is a puzzle, a trap, and perhaps even a key to breaking the curse. But the question remains, is it worth the risk? As we leave the Phantom Clocktower behind, its secrets still shrouded in mystery, we are left with a haunting thought. What if the curse is not just a relic of the past, but a warning for the future? What if the clock tower's dark power continues to grow, reaching out to ensnare new victims? And what if, somewhere in the shadows, the builder's malevolent spirit still watches, waiting for the next curious soul to step too close? So, as you settle in for the night, let the tale of the Phantom Clocktower linger in your mind. Let its chimes echo in your thoughts, and its mysteries stir your imagination. But remember, some doors are better left unopened, and some secrets are best left buried. Sleep well, but sleep lightly, for the clock tower's shadow stretches far, and its curse may yet find its way to you. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more chilling tales. Until next time, stay curious, but beware the ticking of the clock tower.